Welcome to Soundcheck once again every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time. We talk about all things audio, and we also help you troubleshoot if you have an audio issues or if you want to discuss, research, thinking about buying new audio equipment. Come talk to us. We're also, you need to also go to this website if you want to join us live, like Glenn and John, whom we'll meet in a moment. If you go to learnertolearner.com and you go into this link right here, call in with Zoom, tap on that or click on that. You are then able to join the call with us like John and Glenn over here. So we also have people on Clubhouse as well. Sarah's there with us. Solomon followed us also from the Roadcaster User Meetup. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Solomon. Hello, John Lowe. And hello, Glenn.
Hello, John.
Thank you, Glenn, for reminding me earlier.
That's okay.
I was so into the. Plus, I started late, so like my time is a little bit out of, a little off. So I'm gonna actually, as you guys are maybe talk about what you want to talk about, I'm gonna copy the show link for this sound check and put it inside Clubhouse for people over there. So. Okay. Maybe Sarah can continue your question again, and then I have some websites to show you also, Sarah, once I put the link in there for you.
Thank you, guys. Evening, happy Tuesday or Take Tuesday.
Take Tuesday.
Sarah, where are you calling from?
I'm actually in LA.
Aha. Well, that was going to be my third guess.
So I heard that you commented that the earlier on Roadcaster User Meetup we played the Creator Award announcement, and it was from Australia because Rode is an Australian company, and hence. You were talking about how, it's an Australian voice. And so is Sarah, but she's in LA.
Yes. I know it's going to suck when I go over and try to do these kind of calls or Zooms because we're like 18 hours ahead. And like, for example, I know this is a normal time. But over there, like, for example, it is like 12:06 Wednesday afternoon.
That's are they your cat?
Well, I'm a foster parent for cats and dogs.
Oh,
So that's my neighbor one. Yeah, where
oh,
she's
so
very
loud.
spoiled. And then I have a little one, which is a little Calio, where I've only had her for a couple of weeks, and she follows everything that River does.
Oh,
So the meow
so
meow,
cute.
yeah, you should see him. Maybe I should go on
Maybe you
Zoom.
should get on Zoom and show us the cats.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'll do that. Let me
Okay.
go. Was it?
And Solomon, if you want to follow along the video, I hope this is the correct link. It should be. If you're able to tap on that link, you can watch along what's happening over on the video world on YouTube. Let me see. There's okay. There's somebody watching.
Sarah, I'm going to ask some nosy questions. Like, what brings you to LA?
The entertainment, the industry.
Really? Have you started sitting in drugstores and stuff?
Have I been what?
No, it's a real famous story. In the 50s, people wanting to break into movies would be discovered sitting at drugstore counters, and their lives would change. So I just wonder if you had tried that technique yet.
No, but maybe I should. Don't put those ideas in my head, because I'll run with them.
Oh, hey, that could be a good podcast.
Yeah,
There are like one or two that really that happens. I'm trying to think of. There was somebody who's relatively famous. Might have been like Betty Grable or somebody like that. Just they were just sitting in a drugstore, and a producer walked in, and that was it.
Well, that's me. That's my real PTR photo on here. I was invited, it was the Compton Short Film Festival, and I was just going to rock up and just, but they put me to work, and I was their camera woman for the whole festival. So,
There
yeah.
you
So
go.
Well, how much longer will you be there?
how long? What? Sorry?
How much longer will you be there? In LA?
How long have
He
I
lives. I think she lives there.
been? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had if that was a permanent move for you. I was just checking. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm dying to go back to Australia. Trust me, you guys out in the US, you guys don't stop. I'm like a hamster on a wheel. I can't keep up with you guys because it's like nothing. It's good, but it's like a lot. But the creative side, yeah, we'll talk another time. But as I said, I love
Okay.
that creative. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we could talk later. I don't want to take up too much space in time.
So anyway, I want to quickly say hello to LGD. If you discovered this room through other friends, this is a room called Soundcheck where we meet once a week, every Tuesday night, my time, Central Time, US Central Time at 9 p.m. And we talk about all things audio, and we also help people troubleshoot their audio issues. And as Glenn was talking about the benefit to doing it in this format, and it takes time to build. I was doing this for 3 years on Clubhouse, and what happens is if you use audio, and if you have a question, and if you have a few other users in the same room, sometimes you can just shoot your question. Sometimes people will know the answer, sometimes people don't, but most of the time somebody would have gone through what you're going through, and therefore that makes the learning a little bit more impactful. You're asking questions that is directly related to things that you need to know to other users who may have already had that knowledge. So that's the whole idea of the Learner to Learner channel, is to talk to other people who's learned it before you so that you can learn from them. And I see Ernesto just joined us on Clubhouse as well. Wow, Ernesto's everywhere. He was on... Ernesto, is this the same Ernesto that was on YouTube earlier? Is that the same one? Because I think, I see a little red ticket, meaning he's not following. So maybe he's discovered us through YouTube. Anyway, so any big audio news other than the disappointment from Rode? I should explain. Rode put out a big teaser email about about this soft or about something big that's happening, and it turned out to be a Road Creator Year Award. A lot of people were guessing that it could have been a new product, could have been software, new category of product that's coming out. There's lots of wild guesses there. There's like Elgato Stream Deck competitor. There is going to be a new Rodecaster Pro, all sorts of firmware and all that. So, but none of that is true. It's just Creator of the Year awards. Big news is that you can win $250,000 in cash. So if you are, I guess they have successfully made us advertise that for them. Not that we
I
have.
guess if people that is really interested and they have a nick for contest, this is really big news for them.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, but as I was saying, a lot of
keep-
product company. Have you seen Apple announce that before? That way, in a teaser, in an email, saying, "Hey, something big is coming. Hey, it's a
Yeah.
Creator Award."
Yeah, but keep
Yeah.
in mind too, guys, in Australia, we're behind. So it could be like a sales gimmick, you know what I mean, to get people all hyped and interested and maybe buy more products. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, maybe
Think-
brand recognition or something.
Yeah.
Since you don't need to buy anything,
Yeah.
you need to already be using a Rode product to join the contest. So it's for the brand. It's good for the brand, I'm sure. So that it is. I'm gonna. I don't know if you're able to watch, Sarah. If not, you can watch the YouTube link later, like the replay later. But I'm going to show you the Rogue Amoeba software that I was talking to you about. So there are two ways. One, I think the simplest way is to just get the music properly, meaning don't get it from Spotify because it's a streaming service. You're not supposed to be able to use the file. So get it somewhere where you can use. I'm sure you can find either royalty-free music, especially if you're not using this for as a business or like client work. If you're just doing it for a personal project, I'm sure you can download some audio files out there. There are services that you can pay also to get properly licensed music as well. Now, the cheapest, quickest way is through YouTube, because YouTube has a lot of music. So if you just want some kind of a background music, because we haven't really gone into, this is a little recap, because we had started off this conversation over on the other show on Rodecaster User Meetup. And Sarah asked why is her music, when recorded through Audacity, when she plays through Spotify, it comes out scratchy, tinny, not as nice. That's because she's playing Spotify through her speakers and then record it through on Audacity through her microphone. So that's why it sounds tinny. So that explains. So then her question is, how do you get the sound to be good and clear? And that is when you need to get the file. So one of the ways is to simplest way is just get the file, the audio, the music file. It's either in MP3 or waveform or AIFF, one of those audio formats, and then you can just bring it into Audacity and it will sound good. Another way, if you do want to use Spotify, not that I'm condoning that, but if you want to use Spotify and you want to rip off Spotify's audio through software. Now, if you have a Rodecaster, you would play the audio and hit record on your Rodecaster and you get the audio file that way. Not to say that that's the way to do it, especially if it's copyrighted music. But another way to do it is using apps like Audio Hijack Pro. Audio Hijack Pro allows you to, it's a recorder essentially, but it allows you to select input source from other apps within your computer. So let's say if you have Spotify, for instance, you would want to choose in this app in Audio Hijack Pro, you would choose the application block and choose the software from which you want the audio to be coming from, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, and then choose a recorder block, and then you record it, and then the file would get written onto your computer. That way, it's a direct recording from the audio source into the audio file. Then you would take that audio file, just like how you download from YouTube that audio file, you would then drag that audio file into your Audacity software to do the editing. Does that make sense?
It does, but I'm thinking simple. So I'm thinking Rogue. Is it the Rogue one? Just buy that app, and I should go.
Don't you think now? I would say simple is download from YouTube.
Download from YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
no.
does it matter which music you're playing?
Oh no. I just want it to be clear. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, then get the audio file where. So what does it matter what track you're playing, what music you're playing?
No. This is my show. I got the free
Yeah.
reign.
Then I would go to YouTube, and I can't remember. Y'all remember how do you get to YouTube's is it under Studio where you can get the free music? I'm sure we can search it. Free music from YouTube. Just typing that in. Where can I get free music from it? An audio library in YouTube Studio. Okay, you can get royalty-free music. So Studio audio library. There you go. So go to you have a YouTube account, right?
Yeah.
So log into your studio. So studio.youtube.com. Go there, and then click on the left side on the menu. Click on audio library, and there's a bunch of different music that you can play from. Like one of them I'm playing right now.
Amazing.
So then you can then download it to be utilize it on your project.
Okay, hold on. So I've signed into my YouTube. You said left-hand side.
Go to your studio though. Make sure you're in the studio. Studio.youtube.com.
Oh, not in my account? No.
It should be in your studio because you need to get into. So if you type in studio.youtube.com, that will bring you to your studio. If you're already logged in, it will just bring you into your studio. That's where you manage all your content, look at your analytics, check your comments, post your show.
Okay, hold on, wait. Okay, so I'm in my account as we speak. I've got Google accounts, Switch accounts, YouTube. Okay, YouTube Studio. That's what it is. Okay.
Yes.
Click on that. Okay, got it. And then where did you? Okay, I see the dashboard, content, analytics.
On the bottom of the list is audio library. Yes. Then you can go through and listen to all the various different tracks, download the track that you like, and then go from there.
Oh no, that's too much work. Okay, so my next best thing.
Just go to the site where the date is, click download, and then you get the audio file.
But I like to change the. Okay, yeah, that's something. I'm thinking. I feel like that I have to specifically find the music. I just want it to play in the background. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like downloading this and downloading that. You know, I just want it to kind of like.
If you don't have a mixer, you're gonna have to do that.
Okay,
like
fine.
so what you do is you would record your audio track. Once you're done, just drag that audio file into Audacity, lay that as a second layer as the background music, and then you're done. Are you doing it live or are you doing it as a recorded piece?
Recorded.
Then yeah, that's just maybe you want to hear the music as you're speaking.
Yeah.
Then you would then lay the audio track in before you start recording, and then just make sure that you have the level low so that you can speak over it.
Okay, my next question. Okay, I'll leave that alone because I'm not too 100% sure. What about the Rogue Ombra? Should I just download that and then have the music and my voice where it'll be all the same?
No, that is not.
No.
That Rogue Amoeba's Audio Hijack Pro only does recording for the sound, recording the audio file from any audio source on your computer.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that, because I was
Sure.
like,
So you
I
need
guess what
you would, if I think you need like some kind of mixer, an external mixer or something that allows you to play a music source. I mean, you could do it by getting if I would say Rogue Loopback is not for everyone, but you could use Loopback to do what you wanted to do.
what's
But
it called?
Loopback,
Luke. As
Loop,
the
Loop BACK. So this is Loopback that I'm going to show you now. This is Loopback, the software. I'll put the link in there for you in the Clubhouse for you. So essentially, I don't know how well it does, and I'm eager to hear from John or Glenn. If we use Loopback, she could use Audio Hijacked and set a second input source. Can you record two input tracks at the same time in Audacity? I'm not sure if you're able to. Can you, John?
I like what it says.
John, I think you're muted still. Oh wait,
It's okay.
no wait. Why do I not hear you? Is it me or you, John? Glenn, can you say something, Glenn?
Okay.
No, I'm muted from the
How you
software.
doing?
Okay, there you
It's,
Okay, all right, John. Go ahead.
My side. Oh no, you're trying to record on Audacity, right? And you want to record 2 tracks at the same time?
She wants music bed.
To play back in Audacity.
Yeah. And so my suggestion was just put a bed of music like the YouTube music that we talk about. Just put it as a track, lower the volume, and then she would then record her audio on top of it. Then you can hear the music as you're talking then, Sarah. Now I'm trying to think of like a source where she can do that. I guess you could do that with Audio Hijack Pro. Like as if using Audio Hijack Pro as a mixer as well. So I would probably say now, because you don't need to, or do you want to record in Audacity? Do you want to have the flexibility of shifting how loud the music is later on?
Well, see, I'm so used to Audacity. I'm hearing all these apps that you're giving me. Right now, I just want the clarity or the sound volume pretty much the same.
Yes. I mean, so the answer is to get an audio file.
Audio file. And then what about loopback?
Don't worry about Loopback. Don't worry about Audio Hijack Pro. Just get, like, if your question to me is how do you get the music clear and not sound tinny, get the audio file would be the answer for you.
So it'll be in each individual audio file to have it and play it.
You know, music is not like music is an audio file, right?
Yeah.
So you need to get that file instead of playing it from a streaming service which has no files. Remember the old days of music before streaming services? You buy CD and you can rip the CD onto your computer, and those individual tracks, those are the actual files that you would need for editing.
Okay. This is something I got to play around with, because I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're putting down, but it's all like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's all trial and error. And I'll be like, damn it, I just want to put my show, want the music in between, takes, and then I can be able to upload the show. That's it. Keep it simple.
That is what you need. You just need to get an audio file. So then you can edit that inside of Audacity however you want it.
So audio file, download each music clip or whatever, and then play it in between my...
Yeah. Then you would just do a regular editing in Audacity. You just need to get the audio file. And where do you get the audio file from? YouTube. That's right.
YouTube. Yep. You said YouTube and go to the audio library.
That's right.
Okay, hold on. I've got my computer on and I'm actually snapshotting everything. Okay. This is
Okay.
all going to be trial and error. Thank you, thank you,
All
thank
right,
you.
give it a try and then come back and let us know. Because
Cool.
and sometimes I'm trying to give you too much, Sarah, and I think what it boils down to is I should only give you information that you that you wanted to do, but then not give you too much
Yes.
options because then it becomes confusing rather than helpful.
Oh yeah, it sure does. But
Hey,
thank you.
Sarah, before you go to one of my 4 websites sometime this week if you have a moment. Go to my Bourse Sizzle, Bourse Sizzle, SIZZLE.com.
Where's your eCam? Show us the URL of the website. Or type it in. I'll share that.
Okay. Well, hold it. Now, John, this is a good question. So, where would I type the website address?
You can type it in Zoom, and then I can share that.
Oh,
with her.
okay. All right, I'll do that.
So I'm
But-
looking at Audacity over here.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow us to do multiple track recording, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's just one input.
yeah, one
at
input at
any
a
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So that would mean, which is why when I was talking about it, I was like, okay, maybe it wouldn't do it. Sarah, don't listen to us talking about that. do what you needed to do with the information that we shared earlier for you. But I'm curious too to find out. So thanks for checking. Most DAW, digital audio workstation, most of them only allow you to record one channel at a time. I think there are others that would allow you to do that. Okay. So Glenn is sharing the website. So share the first one, and then I will paste it in Clubhouse for Sarah. Whoever who wants to visit that website, I'm pasting it there. So, but what I'm gonna go back is just talk about that. What Sarah has brought up about music is when we talk about music, we think about right now, say Spotify, but music is a file. Like the streaming services make it confusing to people how you get music. I mean, I can hear it on Spotify, but why can't I use it in Audacity and editing software? Is that? I mean, I think that's like a legit confusion for people who may not have dealt with audio files in editing. Because it's music. It doesn't matter. It comes in the form of streaming or an actual audio file. Valid or not?
I guess the way you can relate it is like, if you have a cassette tape, you can just listen from it, then
True.
and
Edit
you
it
can't
on the
do
computer.
anything to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can edit it on the computer.
You cannot send a track to your friend unless you would dub it onto a different tape, which I used to
Well,
do.
it's called a playlist, a shared playlist
Mixtape.
nowadays.
Mixtape. Remember mixtape days?
I remember,
Well,
when we used to record, like especially when it like this is when I was in Australia, the top 40.
Yeah.
You used to kind of record like, oh, I love that show. Oh, sorry, I love that song. You sit and you want to record it.
On the radio, from the radio? Yes.
Yeah, in that kind of sense.
That's a good analogy for me to use to explain that to you. Yeah. If it computes, fine. If it does not, don't worry about what I'm talking about. Okay, Sarah? Like the same context that you just shared. The whatever top 40 shows coming on, and you know that your favorite song is going to be on number 1 this week. You're going to set up your tape recorder. You got to get ready, and it's like number 1 this week is boom. You hit the record button and you start recording the audio, right? And then you can listen to that song all the time now because it's being recorded. So
Do the same thing on YouTube with the audio library.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
How do you get that audio first? right? Before you can play, how do you get that audio? You got to use a recorder too. So it requires a tape recorder and a cassette tape,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that is essentially what Rogue Amoeba's Audio Hijack Pro is. It's your cassette tape and your recorder, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
So hopefully that's
Okay.
making a little bit more sense. Now, the file that you have recorded is in the file format, like it, either whatever format you set it, AIFF, WAV, or MP3, or whatever you want it to be. So that particular file only exists in a computer world. So in the physical analog world, the song would just be written on the magnetic tape on your cassette. That's not really a file, but maybe you can consider the cassette itself is the file. Because now you can take that file, you can go to any player, you can play it at any time you want.
And that's when I go onto YouTube.
Yes, YouTube, you bypass the recording process. You just go straight to the music. So instead of taping it, you go to the store without having to purchase. You can get it for free. Go to the library and check out the cassette, and then you can play.
Well,
it anytime.
essentially, think of every single track in the music is a document. If it's a written word, then it's a word document. If it's music, it is a .mp3, a .wav file. It's basically a document, right? So for you to use that piece of music, you go to YouTube where you can download that piece of document and put it into your Audacity, and then you can use it.
Yeah.
Am I making any sense?
It is. To me, it's just another extra couple of steps, and that's why I haven't But I'll figure it out. But what you're saying is, I need to literally download that file or files to put in them put into the show.
Correct. In order to have music, you need to have the file first. You cannot have music without having files.
What about SoundCloud?
SoundCloud itself is that you're playing from a file. You need to get that file. Like anything that is streaming that you're talking about, SoundCloud is only streaming.
I highly recommend Epidemic Sound. That's what the Ecamm folks recommend. Epidemic Sound.
So Epidemic Sound is a library of where you can find a bunch of music. You pay for it. It's a subscription service, and you can use any music. So it looks like the audio library of YouTube, except paid, and you have more options. Epidemic Sound.
Okay, link please, if you don't mind, because I'm like, oh, I'm liking all this because I'm on my computer and I'm like, oh, I can't keep up with it. But
I'll put it on my website, Sarah.
Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
It's in
No,
Clubhouse.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll type it in now. Type it in now.
It's okay, Glenn. I got it. And that's essentially is another service that you have to pay for, like audio library, but it's free on YouTube. And let's start with that because you gotta. I think once you started doing it, like you were saying, Sarah, as you try the whole trial and error, you will probably grasp the concept of why music comes in the form of a file, because you will be dealing with it when you're editing it. So do that, download the file, use it, then I'm sure you will get more of the idea of what that is. Somebody Ernesto just shared that he said he's old enough to have owned a Walkman. I have multiple Walkmans. I have a Discman. I still have
Me
it.
too. Oh my gosh, yes, I have an old one too.
A Discman or a Walkman?
I didn't know, but I remember I was going through my stuff and I went, what is this? And I went, oh, I used to listen to my CDs in this. So
the Discman. That's your Discman. I actually have a mini Discman. Even I think I still have it.
Oh my gosh, that's
Do y'all remember that?
That's awesome.
Okay, show and tell. So this is my mini Discman. I still have it. Let me see if I can get that to focus. It's a Sony. Do you see that?
Yeah, this is the proprietary shit that didn't fly.
it didn't, but I had two of them because it's so small and it's yeah, it didn't take off. It didn't take off even. There's like commercially released album that is in this format as well. I can get it.
I'm gonna
I
go
think they
check my
wanted
cup-
this to
my-
take over the traditional CDs, but
Yeah.
it didn't.
Yeah.
It's much better than CDs though. The tech,
It's better, yeah.
you don't get a skip track with it. You get everything good about the CD, but better.
Yes, but it's because I love mine. I use mine all the time. It's just like a tiny little CD player, but the CD is inside a cartridge that's contained inside a square.
You know, this is just like one generation before they created the Sony memory stick. I reckon.
Yeah, that's right. Before like the iPod type, like using memory to store music. This is a fun conversation turned into music.
It was all these MDs was, and then it went to.
Have you
memory
ever
stick.
owned one, Mike? John?
Yeah, I had MDs, and it was so expensive to buy the cartridges. I remember, and not a lot of people has it, and it's not mainstream. Everybody was still sticking to CDs and CDs only.
Yeah, yeah.
And the problem with CD and Walkman, not Walkman, Discman is like, even you get the best one, and you are walking
Skips,
around with it, and
yeah.
it skips.
The buffer size is small, so if you have
Yeah.
movement, the buffer is not enough, then it's gonna bloop, bloop, skip. Yeah, Discman were. I mean, mini Discman was great because it's the mechanism. It's pretty solid, so it does not skip as much. But you can still make it. I remember I used to try to like shake it to try to make it to skip.
Yeah.
Glenn, have you owned a Discman?
Oh my gosh!
Or mini Discman?
I've had all the
It's a
little
Walkman.
things over the course of the years. So I've had a version of something. I might even have something around. I did a big cleaning out of my place about a year ago. I think I still came across my Walkman at that time. And
Dude, I just found mine, and it has a cassette. Oh my
The cassette.
goodness.
A cassette. So it's a
crazy.
Walkman?
Oh my. Okay, so I've got it's Sony. It says Walkman, car ready, and then I have a cassette as well. That's actually for some reason is hooked up to it. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's your CD player that has a cassette adapter that you can pop it into your cassette player in your car. Wow, this is old tech.
That's the old version of like, do you have a USB A or a USB Type C kind of problem they were solving?
Oh gosh. Oh my
So
gosh,
that's
this is kind of
cassette
fun to
versus
talk
Discman.
about old music tech. Of course.
That's crazy. I'm looking at it as we speak,
So
guys.
you have a Discman with a cassette adapter for your car, because in cars back then, for the longest time, my car didn't have a CD player, so you couldn't play retro tech.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says Sony audio adapter, which is the cassette, audio cassette adapter.
Yeah.
And then I have the Sony car ready Walkman, which is where you put the disc.
Yeah, that's right. Ernesto says I had a Walkman, a Discman, MP3 player, then iPod.
Oh my goodness.
You know, when I was a kid, like barely just finishing high school, I was learning to make websites, right? And this is like the days of like the internet was very new, and even knowing how to put HTML together, like you sort of like, if you somehow put yourself out there, maybe people see you and then wanted to hire you to create something, right? And I've got a contact in the US. I'm from Malaysia, right? I was a kid, and I got a contact in the US, and he was like, "Okay, hey John, I want you to make a website for me for a page like $50 or something like that." And I managed to do like a couple, and he paid. And the more I was doing it, he said, "Oh, I'm going to send you a real diamond MP3 player," but it never arrived.
Oh God, what? Real Diamond MP? Is that a brand?
Yeah, real diamond MP3.
Real Diamond.
Yeah, real. It was a.
Oh, it's like a
MP3
real audio
player.
player, like the.
Yeah,
Oh my god! Oh, now that's retro tech.
yeah, but it never arrived. I guess it's I think it was a lot more difficult back then
But
in the sense of like sending stuff
yeah,
to.
but did you get paid?
I did get paid because I think he wired some money to me
Oh, okay.
for doing those, but it wasn't a great job. I mean, I was a kid. I was like learning and
Uh-huh.
hustling, and he seems to be confident enough to hire me to get some web pages done. I was like, okay, and I did, and I delivered, and I got paid a bit here and there. And so he was so happy that he wanted to send me a real diamond player, MP3 player.
Which
The story
MP3
of my life.
which MP3 players did y'all have? Like, do y'all remember before I'm sure most
Before
people have
iPods.
iPods. Yeah.
I had something called iRiver.
I
Letter
have
I and then the-
iRiver. I have
Ah,
iRiver.
okay, all
I
right,
record
all
a
right.
lot of my podcasts on iRiver. The little red one. Yeah, I've many episodes of my podcast were recorded on iRiver.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that the good old days.
My first iPod was the iPod Video.
Oh, well, fancy. My
I
first.
even
Yes,
I
Sarah.
found a box. I found a box with my first address when I moved to the US. Ay 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 ay. That's some blast from the past. And I remember a guy. I'm still in contact with him. He worked on like Californication,
Oh
90210,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And he was my like first industry contact. And I remember, you think we have old stuff because he's always on different sets, and he brings home all these props, and some of the props I'm thinking it's vintage, and I know he could sell it, and he'll get a mint from it. Like, I remember a few times he walked in, and he had stuff from the set from Californication. Then he had stuff that was from 90210, and then he invited me to a few rap parties, and they would just throw it all out. And I'm like, no, this is someone's treasure. I know it's their trash, but it was just like, oh, like some of the stuff. And then he had he used to, I helped myself. I took his towel. He had this amazing towel. Remember Buffy? He had that. I still have that towel to this day, and every time when I go for a workout, I use it. And people are like, "You got a Buffy vampire towel? Where'd you get that from?" I go, "Oh, never mind."
I reckon if you put that on eBay right now, with your sweat, maybe it does fetch some kind of value.
Well, what about that? Okay, so I know this is a little off topic, but it was like, was it the Dodgers, like last week, the Dodgers stadium game? What's those bubble heads? Those bubble, those kind of things that you put on those cars? You know, those
The
bubble
bobblehead.
Yeah, yeah. It was Shohei Otani's night, I think.
Yeah, but they had the gold one, and someone was selling it. They were selling it out giving it out for the first 40,000 people who attended or who was a part, like he was going to see, the baseball game. They were selling it. He was not. He was smart. Some guy, a gold version, he managed to put it on eBay for 18,000.
Wow.
I was like, are you kidding me? But
Okay,
anyway, never mind.
I found my iRiver to share with you all. This is my iRiver, and this is my T microphone, which means I was obsessed with stereo even before Rodecaster user meetup.
John was stereo before it was stereo.
I know stereo's been there, but I was obsessed with stereo even before all this live streaming stuff. So this is my iRiver. I record a bunch of shows with it. The T microphone, it's stereo essentially. It's recording left and right. So yeah, that was my iRiver for many years. In fact, I recorded it before iRiver. I recorded on the mini disc player that you all saw. I recorded my shows through there with that same T microphone, that stereo microphone. So if you listen to some of my earlier, not that you would, but when I listen to some of my older recordings, you can hear the whining, the spinning of my MD. I'll start recording, you can hear
So
the.
was the iRiver the device that you started your podcast?
No, it was the MD that I started the podcast with, mini disc.
Recording through that microphones.
I have an external microphone. Yes. Now,
So
my
you guys-
podcast was recorded on the computer first. I think my first one and it crashed. So my first podcast was recorded on my computer. So using GarageBand, I think.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So it's not those iRivers and stuff.
No.
That you
Then
were
I
showing.
wanted to do the portable recordings. So that's when I started to use my mini disc player to record and then bring my mini disc recording. How did I digitize it? Oh no, how did I digitize it? Now I remember. I do it the old way. I play the mini disc and then I record on the computer with like an interface.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's like an analog kind of transfer.
Yeah, it's an RCA. Yes, I know. Oh my God. Oh my
So if you record an hour, you got to transfer an hour, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's no way I can transfer that file because I think I was going through. You have to, in order to digitize it, it needs to go somewhere. Now iRiver is different. iRiver recorded in MP3 files, so I
Yeah.
mean, now that I'm thinking about
Easy.
it, I'm recording on MP3, but I try to record like slightly higher bit rate, but then bring it over. So that would be a lot easier. So that's why I went to iRiver because people who were podcasting back then didn't have to like transfer file if they recorded on an external. And that's when I got my Tascam recorder also, the portable Tascam recorder. So that would like a field recorder. And I recorded a bunch of my podcasts on that thing. And then my next one recorder is actually the original Rodecaster.
I remember I just told you guys my first iPod was the iPod video. I remember my purchase of the iPod video because I'm in Malaysia, right? And we don't have Apple Store or anything like close to an Apple Store back then.
Hold on, where were you guys last? Wait a second. I thought we had the whole Apple Store thing last
This
week.
is back
didn't we?
then. This is
Yeah,
that was our
back then.
first.
This is-
Okay, all right, okay.
This
I'm
is-
sorry.
this
I'm
is gonna
sorry.
be-
I'm sorry.
This is gonna be year 2004, 2005. I guess.
Okay.
A good 20 years ago. So the iPod video came out not too long, and I was on an assignment. Well, rather, I got posted to Singapore for a convention, and I was there. And they didn't have an Apple Store back then as well.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
they had resellers.
Yeah.
They were tiny ahead of us. They have resellers, and they were selling Apple stuff. I was like excited, and I was like, okay, after the convention, I gotta go drop by and collect my iPod video that I ordered. I called in to order. Can you imagine?
So there were no resellers
who
in
could get it?
Malaysia at that time?
No resellers.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I got my iPod video and I purchased it. I opened it. I was using it. Wow, this is great. This is fantastic. It changes my life. I started to
Sync
delve
it.
into podcasting and I see podcasting and I was like, how is it that this thing is so new in Malaysia, and then there's this Hokkien podcast by a Malaysian that's doing it. This is a good 20 plus years ago, and here I am today after 20 plus talking to the person who started the Penang Hokkien podcast, Mr. John.
Wow.
Ong.
So thanks to the video podcast that you were introduced to my podcast then. I mean, even though you
Yeah.
didn't understand the language, but
I didn't understand the language. I was just amazed that there
there's
was
like
a
another
Malaysian
Malaysian out there doing that.
that's doing a podcast, and I was like trying my very best to like how do I figure out how to actually produce a show, and then I realized from the very beginning on I was like I don't really like to do a podcast, but I like to produce a podcast because I did like the intro music, I did the graphics and stuff like that, but I never had content for any shows.
Did you ever produce
You know?
podcasts for people then?
No, I did not.
But
just
you were
something
drawn to
that
that process more than the actually creating the content, right?
I figured.
You
Yeah,
like the
I
process
figured.
more than the content.
Yeah, the other thing that surprises me, because after that many years, and sometimes if I go into Apple Podcasts and I see, hey, Penang Hokkien latest episode, hey, it's quite current. you know, after
Yes.
that many years,
I
that's crazy.
John Lo, next weekend I'm recording my episode 1000. It's a weekly
Wow.
podcast since 2005, and I have not missed an episode every Monday. So it's
There you
something that
go.
I should be proud of. One thing that I can be consistent with is my podcast that's been going
I want
on
to
for
try
almost 20 years. You want to try what?
when iPod video release date, the first iPod video.
Like what year, right? You wanted to find
Yeah,
out.
I'm trying to think whether the timeline that I set up was
Was that
actually
correct?
matching.
Okay, iPod video was out when? Date of introduction of 2005, October. Yeah. So I'm sure you didn't buy it like immediately. So it's probably thereafter, like around early
I've
2006.
got the black color version of the
Yeah,
iPod
yeah.
video, so it gotta be, the fifth generation one.
So
2005, October 2005.
yeah, October
That's when it
2005.
was.
If you get, but you probably didn't get it the first day, did you?
No, not the first day.
So it'll
but
probably be
pretty
like
early
a little
on.
bit thereafter. So either end of the year or
Yeah,
next year, like
possibly.
early 2006.
You gotta be like maybe nearer to Christmas time, that
Okay.
kind of thing.
I'm surprised
Yeah, it was-
actually Singapore has that already, because it was like not all iPods were released in all countries all at once. So sometimes you have to
True.
wait for a little bit for it to come to the market, especially if it doesn't have an Apple
Maybe
Store yet.
then maybe there's later.
It
right?
could be in 2006, because my podcast started in 2005. I think like August or something of 2005, then haven't stopped.
There you go.
There you go.
What a story, man. I'm still amazed with that story.
And we met through
Myself.
Clubhouse.
Yeah.
When did you connect the dot? I mean, I was pretty obvious, like that I was me.
Yeah, I mean, when I see Jono, I recognize the name.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
I knew, right? That you're the guy that did the Penang Hokkien one.
But my Clubhouse ID, no, what's it called? Like the profile picture. I have my Penang Hokkien T-shirt on, too.
Yeah.
So there. So and then I'm so glad though. 20 years later, we're still podcasting. Did you know the first 10 years, it was very niche. Like nobody knew what a podcast is. Now, everybody would know what a podcast is today. Even if it's just an audio recording of sorts, people call it a podcast. To me, as somebody who started the podcast, a podcast has to have an RSS feed. If otherwise, it's not a podcast.
Yeah. It's a distribution method
Yeah.
rather than what's the result of it.
Exactly. Yes. But Glenn has 4 podcasts. You only share one
No.
though.
Hold on. I do have 4 websites, but only one active podcast. I'm very close on another one, so I'm.
Do you plan
hoping
on
to have
having
2.
4? Ultimately?
That's the goal. I'm going to have. I've got the one on coins is going now. I've got 2 on chess and 1 on concerts.
Oh, nice.
Like in the DC area, I'm collaborating on that one with a friend, just talking about various venues and introducing people in the area, going behind the scenes, stuff like that.
There
See,
you go.
the thing I don't understand with you podcast people is that how do you even think of things to talk about every single freaking week? Right?
You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. I think the same as well. I'm going, when I finish my show, I go, geez, I talk a lot of crap. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, but people listen to it. You know what I mean? So look, go for it. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised because I have an East Coast guys and the West Coast guys, and you'll be surprised. Yeah, I'll
And
just
now,
leave it at
Right.
surprise.
and you do, Glenn's, your podcasts are compositional. You talk to people, interviews.
Well, and that's the other point. So I was going to say, John, I put most of my effort into the one I'm doing now, Coins. It takes probably more. It takes more time in terms of planning and stuff like that. But the two chess one's going to be just me and say 3 or 4 of my chess colleagues talking about chess for half an hour a week. I can do that. I can just sit around, any 30 minutes of the week, and I can do that. With the other chess one's going to be giving results of tournaments from the weekend on Monday mornings. Again, that's probably gonna be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes once a week. Not a big deal. And then the one with concerts, I'm collaborating. So that's how I've got this planned.
So John, you just need to find a chatty co-host, and then you're done.
You want to do a John and John show?
That's
I mean, it has a ring to it. The John and John show.
The J&J show. You know what I mean? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
John with the H and John without the H.
And they actually have like a big convention every year or twice a year out in Vegas about the podcasters. I thought I'd put that out.
I used to attend those. Not I don't,
Okay, cool.
I don't care anymore these days.
My OG people that I listened to back then was Leo Laporte because I'm such a geek, right? I listened to, and he is very consistent. He is very good at it.
Did you listen to Mr. Brown from Singapore?
Yeah, Mr. Brown
Yeah.
was one of the first ones as well. It's like, okay, I mean, if Malaysian we have a podcaster, I'm sure the Singaporeans will have one, and Mr. Brown show was one of the first ones,
Now,
and he got very, very popular as well.
yeah. I never got popular, but I was one of the first. I think I was one of the first 50 podcasters in the whole world when I first started. Adam Curry used to
Oh, Adam
collect.
Curry, yes.
Yeah, Adam Curry used to collect our show. We would send him our promos and our RSS feed, and he would keep it on his website. And that's why I know there's like 50 podcasters back then, or under 50. So I'm one of the oldest, not famous nor successful, but persistent.
And that's interesting you say that because on the West Coast, the guys like to do the RSS feeds, but on the East Coast, they just want me to send an MP3 file. So that's interesting how you kind of like, you said something a little earlier, a podcast is not a podcast if it's not RSS feed.
Yeah.
I thought I'd throw that out there for you. But anyway.
Now, what do you mean send them? Can you explain a little bit more about sending files?
Okay, so when I do my shows, I have a group out here in LA where I actually just put my show on as an RSS feed, and it uploads to, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. But on the West Coast, there's a guy that he just wants us to send him an MP3 file, and he uploads our show on his website.
Yes, because he controls the RSS feed.
Yes,
Then, yeah.
yes, that's it. Yes.
Because RSS feed is essentially telling whatever reader that's reading the RSS, the XML file, to go get the MP3 files, or it could be like M4V or video files. So they're both ultimately getting to the MP3 files. So the MP3 file is your audio file. Going back to like a big
Yes.
circle, that's your audio file. Whatever you created is essentially an audio file. That music's the same thing. You create something and you put it out in an audio file format. Ernesto, what Ernesto is saying is, I hate to admit, but I went with Napster for music for a while. Oh, Napster. I remember Napster. Everybody's committed that crime before.
Yeah, I think so. It's just that I think people just speak of it harshly, like they're not admitting that they are on Napster or music. What Lime music? Was it
LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Is it called LimeWire?
See?
I think I remember
Yeah,
that.
I think so. Right, and we're all on that. We were kids, and internet was new, and who's not on these kind of thing?
Oh, that is so sweet. Look at Esther said, I listen to Twit as well, especially Mac Break Weekly. I enjoy listening to you guys just as much too. I can relate to the love of Rode and their products. Yeah, totally. I actually, John has been talking to me about posting these from Soundcheck and Roadcaster User Meetup as a podcast for the longest time. I still don't have one, but you can now go to YouTube to watch it. So that, at least there's
So
that. So
after
it's
that,
a
I don't
podcast
need
now.
to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to, because I'm pretty happy with, say, the YouTube. I could like go in and watch it.
Yeah.
But Clubhouse is just different. It just hit different.
It's just especially they don't make listening. They want you. I guess they want you there listening to it live or something. I'm not sure. The replays aren't as easily discovered. And yeah, there's something different. And hopefully YouTube, Ernesto, I'm not sure if we met through Clubhouse or YouTube. I'm quite sure it's on YouTube. So let us know in the chat, because I feel like Ernesto, we may have crossed paths on YouTube or Clubhouse. Let us know. Because earlier when I saw your Ernesto's Clubhouse profile popped in, it has a red ticket, which means you're not a member of the Soundcheck. So YouTube, yeah. So Ernesto, now I'm curious, like, how did you find us then if it's on YouTube? Now I'm very happy that at least one person discovered Soundcheck. How did you discover? Did it just like pop up on your feed, or did you see it on Clubhouse? Now I'm curious. Now I need to hear from Ernesto. I mean, you can just type, but I'm curious. Now, a few people I solicited, like Glenn. Glenn.
No. I approached you with a question, and then you responded by us soliciting.
By a spam.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Ernesto says. Ernesto said, Instagram. I just created an account with Club. Oh, okay. So, just pop up on his feed. See, yeah, it's working, and it's somebody who is interested in the content. So who says YouTube algorithm isn't good? I found one listener who's like completely didn't know about the podcast prior to that. So thank you, Ernesto, and welcome, Ernesto. Now, one of these days, we're going to get Ernesto on the show as well, because I think he will be equally, just looking at whatever he's sharing in the chat, I know he's going to have a lot to contribute to our conversations as well. So yeah, Glenn, you asked a question in Ecamm or in
Right. Yeah. It was the Ecamm Live Facebook group. Yeah.
and then I reached out to you about, it's like, was it related to Roadcaster? I can't remember.
Yeah. You were saying, you made a reference to Roadcaster, like you had a podcast or something, and then I asked you a question, and then you said that the group meets on Tuesdays, and so that's how it all started.
Yeah, I'm glad you're still back here, and I think
you just keep those checks coming, John. Don't worry about it.
Oh, but I just love the conversation. We don't have to carry on too long, because the reason why I want to wrap up earlier than usual is because I came home late, and I wanted to grab food before I get on the live stream. So I did that, and I have an old cat, and there's like a spot upstairs that we've put plastic on, but he likes to pee on there if you don't take him down to the potty regularly. So I was like, turn on, I need my dinner. So I had my dinner, and the moment I went back to him, he already peed on the carpet. So now I have to go wrap up the show and go clean my cat's pee. How glamorous is my life? So there's that. But I thank you, Sarah, for the inspiration of this whole conversation. We talk about audio files, we talk about podcasting, and old technology like disc player, cassette adapter, Discman, Walkman, MD player,
Guys are awesome. I'm listening to my
iRiver.
music. Thank you, guys.
Anyway,
Thank
yeah,
you.
you're welcome, and thanks Glenn again, thanks John again for participating in the conversation, and also those people who are in the chat as well, Ernesto particularly.
Before you,
Yeah?
what's Sarah's podcast?
Sarah, what's your podcast?
Sarah
We
Talk
lost her.
Solutions.
Wait.
No, she's here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Sarah Talk Solutions.
Sarah talks
Solutions.
Solutions.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll check it out.
Okay, cool. I'm checking all of you guys out because I'm following all you guys. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Ernesto. Yeah, hopefully you can join us next week. We would love to. Hopefully, I don't have to work late and like rush back immediately. Oh my gosh, I have to post a file like at 7 something and have to rush back, grab dinner.
Hey, John, one more thing. Where was Sean tonight?
I don't know. You know, he shows up when he shows up.
but he said he was going to be here last week.
Yeah, maybe he just got busy.
Oh, no, okay. Debbie, I will not be here next week. I'm going to be at Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie next
cool.
week.
Is that? Are you going to record anything for your concert related podcast?
No. But it'll still be reconnaissance and observation work.
No. Another thing. So research still, right?
Exactly. We're still in the research phase.
You might want to. Do you have any portable recorder?
Well, you know, I might be able to find that that MP3 recorder player
somewhere. No, another thing that you might want to consider is if you want to, I don't know what kind of concert related, but it would be cool if you can have some kind of a binaural recording for your concert podcast.
Yeah. No. We're still a few steps away. My partner is even though we are collaborating, he's got a lot of family responsibilities, and so he's not being as active as. But again, I got enough going on with the coins, so I'm fine.
Do you know what a binaural microphones like a binaural microphones are? They're the ones that you wear in your ear on your ears.
You're talking your language, John.
So it's stereo, but you're wearing them on your ears. So,
okay.
So then, whatever this audio reproduced by those microphones, binaural microphones, it's putting you in the situation because you're hearing.
Oh,
what
okay.
I'm
You
hearing.
hear something in your right ear and something in your left ear.
So it's very distinct.
Okay.
So, you know, when you get to your live concert podcast, think about that. That might be something fun to do. Because I did quite a bit of binaural recordings on my podcasting years, not on the Penang Hokkien, but on my original show. So, but anyway, great conversation, great audio recording tech, sound, audio, music tech, retro music tech. Thank you all so much. And we'll catch you next week, same time. 9 p.m. Central Time.
Guys.
Bye, Sarah. Bye, Glenn. Bye, John.
All right. Bye,
Take
everyone.
care. Bye.